John Cena interrupted his match when he found out that 7-year-old Kiara Grindrod was in attendance. This girl had already won her greatest fight when she beat cancer. But every single person outside the regular around the world, for which Cena wanted to personally congratulate her. Some young soccer players had lost not just a team member, but a true friend. By tradition, the team plays a farewell game, where the fallen gets to score their final goal. Here's how a war vet with a prosthetic leg runs the 42-kilometer Boston Marathon. And it was all to show people in the same situation that their lives are not over, that they can do anything. Doctors allowed the very sick children from Rotterdam Sophia Children's Hospital to attend a soccer match. Upon hearing of this, Excelsior fans decided to make this day unforgettable for the kids. After Edmund injured his leg, his opponent could have begun celebrating victory, but instead Dimitrov rushed to help. Jimmy Johnson's car crashed, and he had no idea how to get through the 4-kilometer. Until his friend Dale Earnhardt Jr. went out of his way to give him a lift. Now watch as Nelson P.K. does the same for his opponents back in 1986. It's been over 35 years, and there are still drivers just as cool. Robbie Heil dreamed of playing on a football team, but his opportunities were limited because of his Down syndrome until this day. The team gave Robbie a chance and he scored a touchdown. All for his mom, who was fighting cancer. It's been 70 years since 89-year-old veteran Brian Sperry played football on a college campus, but today, thanks to students at the University of Kansas, he's back on the field to make the most satisfying run in for a touchdown. This ball boy was terrified of the aggressive fans behind, but Romero Regales immediately stepped in to help the young man. This 5-year-old Messi fan's family was so poor that their son had to make his own jersey from a bag. Imagine his surprise, so that he could walk out on the field with him. Spent a year and a half drawing Bucks player Janice, and she kept the drawings in hope of seeing her idol in person someday. But that isn't this giant's only kind gesture. That girl will be talking about this gift for the rest of her life. Kamaru Usman was finally able to win the UFC title from Tyron Woodley. Upon seeing how emotional he was, his opponent's mother unexpectedly came to encourage and support the winner. It's all good, honey. It ain't your turn. It's your turn. Racer Jeremy Durst lost control of his bike right after the race began. His fault scared his girlfriend, so she rushed over to him, but it turned out that this was all part of his plan to ask the most important question of his life. Jorge Eustaquio lost a fight and knelt before his opponent to acknowledge defeat, but he certainly wasn't expecting a mutual reaction from Adriano Moraes. For these two, mutual respect is more important than victory. No matter how famous Ronaldo is, he's always a beloved son to his mother. First and foremost, a goal dedicated to her was the best show of gratitude he could offer. Just look at how proud of him she is. Fourth grader Braden Vasco lost his hair after chemotherapy and was depressed about his appearance, but then the school's entire football team supported him in a very touching way. For these children who can't walk, players from the best teams in the world put on special equipment to help them feel what it's like to play soccer. Their steps became a child's steps. Stop their game to help push a fire truck back onto the road. How can a competition matter when there are people who need help? When Sarah Tujalski lost her leg while running the bases. It was game over for her, but her opponents refused to accept her defeat and carried her through each of the remaining bases. In their arms, Steven Adams had a great opportunity to score a goal for his team, but instead, he tended to his opponent and saved him from serious injury. This is the real goal of being an athlete. A Muslim soccer player lost her hijab during the struggle for the ball. Some of her opponents could have taken advantage of, but here's what they did instead. While this guy decided to lash out emotionally after losing a game, the player on his team showed him that you can lose and still remain a person. A huge fan of the New York Rangers' young Emma Larson has had to battle through adversity throughout her life, so the team decided to make her life a celebration, at least for one day. No one was expecting a professional artistic swimmer to lose consciousness during a performance, but Anita Alvarez's coach was ready for anything and immediately dived in to save the young woman. Now she's perfectly fine. All this player cared about after a collision on the field was the well-being of his opponent, and the help he rendered literally saved the man's life. This dance could have been the last for this couple, but everything worked out, and we will see them on the ice again. Collision with Dimitri Payet cost Cristiano Ronaldo Euro 2016 final, and he just couldn't hold back the tears while saying goodbye to his team. This girl got incredibly excited when her favorite football player came very close to her. She even has a phone case with his picture on it. It was an extremely tense Wimbledon finale, and when Simona Halep finally won, she immediately rushed to hug her rival Serena Williams. It's just a few extra minutes on the field for Neymar, but to his little fan, it's gonna be the most important childhood memory. And when that female team needed a worthy opponent, Neymar agreed to replace the whole opponent team by himself. And he didn't go easy on him, like a true pro. Tonya Harding looked absolutely devastated when her performance was ruined because her laces suddenly broke up. Fortunately, she was able to convince the judges to give her a second chance. And this is what a real athlete does when his opponent is physically unable to leave the field in front of hundreds of spectators. This volleyball player missed a spike and almost burst into tears, but all our teammates and coach reacted instantly and didn't let her give up. If you were wondering how many cheerleaders could fit in a small car, the answer is 20. And they had to show a lot of respect for each other to make that Guinness record possible. Don't try this yourself. The race lasted only 20 seconds for these two Porsches, but thanks to the professionalism of both drivers, no one was hurt, and they helped each other to get out of the situation. A cheerleader named Angela thought that her job was just to keep motivated the team and the crowd, but she didn't know that she was about to become the star of the evening. Raffaele and the doll found it quite difficult to focus on the match in such company, but went through it as a professional athlete. And this jumper ended her first try in tears, and not of joy. But she didn't hurt herself, and got all the support she needed. And this fan knows how to support her favorite team, not only in the stands, but in the media as well. When a coach gets a surprise phone call from the mother of one of his players. Everyone holds their breath in anticipation of bad news. But in fact, the young man has just received a scholarship. Another player on his team was surprised that a pizza delivery man was looking for him to report that he had also gotten a scholarship too. This little fan gave Jadon Sancho a pair of shin guards that he had designed with his father the player, promised that he would always wear them at his games. Guess what? Jadon scored a goal in those shin guards the very next game. Damar Hamlin's heart stopped in the middle of an NFL game, so when the player was picked up by the ambulance, both teams knelt down to pray for his recovery. And their prayers were answered. Damar's health improved, and this is how the fans greeted them later. Anthony Knockout has scored many goals in his career, but this one was the most meaningful, because he dedicated it to his father's memory. Seals the win for the Albion, the championship table with half a season goal. Brighten it over after lost a picture of his dad today. Students at this school are waiting for a special guest, but when LeBron James himself shows up, they can't believe their eyes after. He's the real hero, who opened their school with his charitable donations. Nothing could stop this guy from doing karate, not even cerebral palsy. After many long and difficult training sessions, he's finally getting a patch on his belt. Look at how much it means to him. After Morocco's historic victory over Portugal, Sophia and Buffel couldn't wait another minute and went straight onto the field to celebrate the victory with his mother. And Adrian Luna dedicated this important goal to his 6-year-old daughter, who now watches her father play from heaven. Every single second of it. This little fan thought he could never keep a ball spinning on his finger, but Lucius Winston showed him that nothing is impossible. Head coach Greg Popovich became the greatest coach in NBA history with 1,336 regular season wins. Then his team decided to swarm him and celebrate the tremendous honor. Let's go, let's go. And this is Ripken, the university's mascot. Before the start of each game, Ripken gives paw to all the players for good luck. But that's not all. Ripken also helps bring the baseball bats, supports the players, and isn't afraid to compete with other mascots. A mom is always a mom. Even if her sons play for different teams, in the Super Bowl, she'll have to celebrate victory with one and console the other after defeat. During a match, this ball kid faces an unexpected challenge when she finds a huge beetle in her way. But Stefano's seat Puz comes to his assistant's rescue and helps her avoid the insect. This is how Jack Grealish made a girl's dream come true. Abby's a big fan of Manchester City, so she'll remember this meeting for the rest of her life. When Stefan Diggs first met 5-year-old Aiden, he found out that the boy had recently lost his father. So when they met again, Stefan gave the boy custom sneakers with an embroidered photo of him and his father, with the inscription, "I love you, Nick." Damn it, who's cutting onions around here? Even though wrestlers fight each other, they're actually quite friendly people outside the ring. For example, they decided to congratulate Randy Orton's daughter on her birthday. Soccer player Jack Grealish met his biggest fan. And the boy asked him to do his victory dance. And Grealish did the dance, after scoring a goal in the middle of the match. Later they had a phone call, and the boy's joy was impossible to describe. Oh my days, this woman lost her son. But she continued to attend his team's games. And they always hug her before each game to remind her that her son will always be a part of their team. The father couldn't hold back his tears of pride when he saw his son's debut in a professional soccer club. To honor their first win, the boy decided to give his father a souvenir as a keepsake, because he will always be his most devoted fan. Oh my God. After his team wins the game, no, 3 could have gone to celebrate with everyone else, but he did quite the opposite, and took time to console the opposing team in a show of the utmost sportsmanship. During a tennis tournament, Grigor Dimitrov gives this young fan the opportunity to play against Roger Federer himself. Imagine a surprise when the boy makes the perfect blob shot and scores on the legend. A football coach got a better job offer from another school, so he gathers everyone in the gym to announce that he's staying. And on that day, the impossible happened. Muhammad Ali finally met his match in the ring and lost. When a father posted a video about how his 3-year-old daughter loves to watch games with Joel Embiid, he never expected that the Sixers would invite their whole family to a game where she could see her idol in the flash. During a rally driver, Stefan Lefebvre ended up in a ditch. Fans couldn't just stand by and do nothing, so they came together as a team and pulled their favorite racer's car out. Even though Ronaldo doesn't play for Real Madrid anymore, fans of the club still showed their support when the soccer player lost his son. Here's how rival fans of Arsenal showed their support. Despite his cerebral palsy, 11-year-old Samuel's only dream was to play soccer, and he was given a unique chance to visit the Manchester United Academy. The club's best goalkeeper will remember this day forever. The Hale gave you an actual glove. This picture made a game-winning pitch, but instead of celebrating with his teammates, he decided to console his childhood friend, because he knows that friendship is more important than winning. When a young man scores his first touchdown, he dedicates it to his younger brother, and it touches him to the core. Chloe Kim was hungry and tired, but she didn't leave her fans. In the middle of an interview, she politely asks for a bite to eat, and her fans give her an entire dinner of snacks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This soccer team came out on the field, holding homeless dogs to show support for the local shelter and fight for the rights and lives of pets that don't have a home. Tennis superstar Rafael Nadal was about to serve during a match, but he stopped the game in front of a crowd of 7,000 people because a child was lost in the stands. The poor girl was found and returned to her mother, and fans were touched by the tennis player's good deed. Fans saw lonely David Beckham on top of the stadium and decided to cheer him up by giving him a special chance. Suddenly he didn't seem so lonely, and this good boy decided to help his owner in a karate competition, or he wasn't allowed in, cause he already has a black belt. And here we can see the cycle of kindness play out, with a foul ball. Heartwarming story. During the wagon meeting, Simon Schuster decided to surprise everyone by giving his opponent a taste of baklava. This shot for the cameras, while chewing baklava, is priceless. This guy just couldn't seem to score a basket from under the hoop no matter how he tried. Then an opponent showed him respect by giving him the ball, and he finally did it. These fathers came to a high school game to support their cheerleader daughters. Can tell where these girls got their skills. Little Ali Amir loved soccer his whole life, and all he ever dreamed about was meeting his idol. And one day that dream came true, when Amir got the chance to meet and play with Ronaldo. This is when Johnny Househand notices this poor pigeon on the field, and decides to show his kindness by pausing the game to help the bird. Security wouldn't let this boy go see Cristiano Ronaldo, but when the player noticed, he called the child over to him and gladly gave him an autograph. After Stefano's seats, he paused, gave a souvenir to his fans. He came back to the stands again, but this time to retrieve a handbag that a lady had dropped onto the court. Joe Wilfried Songa noticed that one of the ball kids wasn't feeling well. He immediately reacted and made sure that she got some help. Overflowing with happiness, the kid decides to hug his idol, but when Shaq sees the young man being led away, he tells the bodyguards to let him in and take a picture. In 40 years of attending baseball games, this woman never managed to catch a foul ball, but the baseball gods finally sent her this guy, who gives her the souvenir of her dreams. This baseball player meets his oldest fan, and in return for her love and support, he gives her a gift that truly warms her heart. This girl's guardian angel goes to the same gym as her. A game was stopped because the net got tangled. But in case you didn't know, not only can cheerleaders cheer, they can also save the game. When soccer player Rachel Daly suffered a heat stroke, her opponents could have taken advantage of the situation, but instead they were the first to come to her aid. Iowa Hawkeyes fans have the coolest tradition in all of football. Before every game, 70,000 fans turn and wave at kids in the hospital next to the stadium. While the entire Buffalo Bills team was preparing for a game, Stefon Diggs decided to get a buddy from the stands to help him warm up, and he made this boy's day unforgettable. Even though this gymnast is determined to succeed, he isn't afraid to fail at all, because he knows that Coach Nick will always be there to save his life. And one wrong move here could end a gymnast's career. That is if not for her coach's reflexes. Conor McGregor has had many scandals throughout his career, but this is the new Conor, who pays respects to his opponent after beating him, and even thanks his grandmother. And just like that, this soccer player fills this girl's heart with joy. After finishing an Ironman marathon, a runner decides to propose to his girlfriend and gets a cramp at that very moment. But these guys support him, so he can finally hear the much anticipated answer yes. When none of this boy's friends showed up for his birthday, the local football team took their place. I bet his friends regret not coming now. At this game, Steph Curry approaches a fan and apologizes for missing the game in Denver, where she had been looking forward to seeing him. Then the basketball player gives the girl an autographed photo and tells her to smile more often. A tennis player falls on his back during a match and gets covered with clay. But instead of warming up, his opponent comes over and helps him get cleaned up. This baseball player broke the system, but made this boy very happy. He walked up to the stands and asked for the young fans' autograph on a photo with him. After a long, hard game, this goalkeeper was exhausted and even more upset. But despite his favorite team losing, this fan runs onto the field to console the player. Here's what happens when your referee is also a big fan. Ricardo Cacao gets a yellow card, but can't turn down a selfie from the referee. And of course, he doesn't want a red card. This gymnast coach was the first to realize that her incredible jump didn't go according to plan, and was prepared to do anything to help her. Volleyball player Zara Gunish never worries about her health, because her trainer is always there to take care of her. When this gymnast's maneuver ended in total failure, she just couldn't handle it. But thanks to the support of her team, she was able to pull herself together. Oh goodness, that looked bad for a moment and she didn't move. And that was our last round for the day. Be sure to tell us in the comments which moment touched you the most. When you're done, click the like and subscribe buttons. That way we know you want more. See you in the next video.